Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra has to be one of the most fun games I've ever played in recent times. Everything to the amazing graphics, the gameplay, playing with friends is all so much fun. But of course not every game is perfect, so I'm going to give an honest review here on the gameplay, on the graphics, on the mechanics and everything that I can think of, so let's go. I'm sure a lot of you who have played the beta test have experienced this issue with matchmaking. When you go into a match, there's always at least one person that does not press that ready button, and it really annoys me. I have no idea why it even exists. If I'm queuing up into a match, why do I need to press the ready button? I think it just makes no sense, honestly. The solution to this is just give someone a timeout if they don't press the ready button for like 30 minutes or 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't care how long. Just give them a timeout, because why are you ruining the fun of other people for not pressing the ready button? I think everyone can agree with me that the quality of this game is just disgustingly beautiful. One oxymoron, but these models are one of the best we've seen since Fighters, and I'm talking better than Sparking Zero. What I like most about this is that they've adapted lots of the manga into this game, which not a lot of Dragon Ball games have done due to the rights from Shueisha and like copyright. I don't know how it is, but yeah. Another thing I like is the customization in this game. Unlike another Dragon Ball game, you can pretty much modify whatever you want. The outfits of the characters, the emotes, the windscreens, and that applies to every character in the game. Like I said, with Sparking Zero, you can only customize a select few, and most of that went to Goku. So this game is very similar to Pokemon Unite. I actually did make a video on it 3 years ago, but we don't talk about that. So how this works is that you progress with your team. Ideally, you want 2 players at the bottom and 2 players at the top, and then you farm XP at the beginning of the match. Eventually, you're going to encounter the other team. But the main premise behind this game is to collect the Dragon Ball at the end of the game, but it all requires on teamwork. So basically what I'm saying, if you enjoy this type of game where you work together with people, I definitely recommend this game. The interaction in this game is absolutely phenomenal. We have characters like Future Trunks interacting with Android 16, who he had originally thought as an enemy, but in this game, not at all.
16? I'll give you everything I've got!
I guess what this means in the long term is that we get to see custom dialogue between characters we wouldn't normally see. And honestly, this minute detail makes the game that much better for me. For example, down the line we can see someone like Cell interacting with Zamasu or Baby, and I don't know what they talk about, but it'll be pretty cool, you know? I'd really like to see it outclass Fighters in this way, especially because Fighters is pretty dead right now, so I'd like to see another Dragon Ball game overtake it in some way. The stages we have so far are very limited. Makes sense because we're in the beta test, but we also do have 2 other game modes which I'll mention in the next section. This map right here is the main one that we have so far. I don't have any need to change it. However, you are kind of restricted to move around, as you can see with these red borders, and on the map you can see the purple bit is the bit that I can't actually progress to. Though later on you can pass this by defeating the towers, but I just think it is kind of limiting because you can't exactly help your teammates at the top and then move back to the bottom as soon as possible. All in all, I don't think it's that much of a problem, so let's move on to the game modes. So as of now, we have 3 game modes in the game. We have the regular standard battle and the quick battle, which I would associate with the same thing because it is the same thing. And then we have the land grab and the finders keepers game mode. First of all, I do want to talk about the finders keepers game mode. I am not a big fan of it. There are a lot of reasons why. I'm going to list just a few of them, but here we go. I feel like the game mode is just boring, right? The match lasts really long and you're not really doing anything. Essentially, you're either a finder or a keeper. You have to protect your chest if you're a keeper and find a chest if you're a finder, of course. I did play a match of this, but it just makes no sense. I was protecting my chest the entire time, and then at the end, I just lost out of nowhere because somebody collected one. I'd have no idea what even happened. Another thing is that you can't really see what's going on, like where your teammates are, where the enemies are. It's really annoying. I don't really even know why this is a game mode in the first place. The incentive to play this isn't even worth it in my opinion. The land grab, on the other hand, is not that much better, but it is different. It's pretty much a king of the hill situation where if you stay in a spot for the majority of the time, your team wins. But then again, it is kind of boring and they should really make some adjustments to it. The bosses in this game are very questionable actually. There are 3 bosses in the game: Ribrianne, Jarko, and Android 16. During the first beta test, however, there was a Great Ape that would spawn in the middle or near the end of the match. However, they did remove it because it was too broken. Basically, if you were dominating the whole match and the other team managed to kill the Great Ape, you would actually lose. And overall, I would argue that this was a good change. Now back to the point of the bosses being questionable, I have no idea why they are what they are. The only one that kind of makes sense is Ribrianne, and even then she doesn't even turn into a giant form. She's base and then turns into a transformed state. Personally, I think the Great Ape was a good idea. I just don't know why they would completely remove it instead of adjusting it a little bit. Overall though, I do think most of them are fine. If you had to give me one word to describe this game, I'd probably say gorgeous. Not just in graphics and animations, but it's evident how much love and care has gone into this game. And that's also speaking from an enjoyment perspective. Of course, everyone is subject to their own opinion, so if you don't enjoy the type of game, that's fine. To conclude, I do have high expectations for Gekishin Squadra, and until then, we'll be waiting for the official release. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I can feel some power levels.
Gotta admit, you're tough.
Incredible! That was a stunning Max Gekishin burst you landed!
Here's another! I'll go even beyond a Super Saiyan! Here! I can protect everyone now! "16, I'll give you everything I've got! Not done yet!
Amazing! Your teammate just landed a Max Gekishin. You did it! You broke through all their paths of destruction! Now, where's the dragon as expected?
Assisting.
Looking good.
We did it, everyone!
You may leave now.
I'm done here.
See you around!